So Digital Foundry actually posted the benchmarks of the Xbox One X from the XFest documents, and these documents are something that myself, Dealer, Hellhammer, GKB, we all went over on Xbox Nation probably months ago. So it's very interesting that they're kind of talking about this now. I guess they just got a hold of these benchmarks, which were internal, and like I said, they've shown off to people at an XFest event. So let's talk a little bit more about it. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here. Crapgamer Reviews, obviously back with another video. And I want to say tonight at 8 p.m. we're going to do a really good show on Xbox Nation. Mooch going to be there, Dealer, Hellhammer. It's going to be a really good show. So make sure you guys check that out. So anyway, I will link this in the description so you guys can check it out. Basically, what these benchmarks are is the native 4K, and they're trying to basically compare 900p games, 1080p games on Xbox One, and the native 4K equivalent on the One X through these benchmarks. And they also do some backwards compatible metrics and things like that. And it's very interesting because what you see is Microsoft really did intend for pretty much every 900p to 1080p game on the Xbox One to be native 4K on the One X, which means that the whole true 4K thing is 100% accurate. Now, we know that there hasn't been like a million games announced in native 4K or anything like that, and we know that the word checkerboard is a bad word at this point, but not all checkerboarding is the same, if you know what I mean. Obviously, a game that maybe has a dynamic resolution or a bit of checkerboard but still is almost native 4K the entire time is going to look much better than, say, a game that is checkerboarding 1400p like the PS4 Pro version, and obviously just doesn't have the horsepower that the One X has. So this is all very interesting as well, because we do know that there are games that are going to be native 4K. Obviously, Forza Motorsport 7, Crackdown 3, Super Lucky's Tale, the games Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, Killer Instinct. There is a lot of games that are going to be native 4K. Shadow of War. It's just going to be the thing that's going to be, and we are going to see some parity, obviously, probably with some of the bigger developers, but developers that know what they're doing and really want to push the hardware and optimize the hardware, which shouldn't even be that hard, it's really going to be easy according to these documents and according to the benchmarks and things like that. So it's very interesting just kind of looking down at it, even if you're not a super technical person, because I'm not a super technical person. I know a little bit, and since I've actually read these and went over these long before now, it's very interesting to kind of look back and see Digital Foundry, who are, I guess, experts at this, to kind of go over it as well. So the presentation states that the design goal of the Xbox One X was to run native 1080p titles with 4x resolution boost. While during their visit, Microsoft had expanded the objective, saying it wanted both 900 and 1080p game engines to run at 2160p. The data for most of the 9 titles clearly demonstrates that the 4x resolution design goal is clearly met. So within that, they've really met the whole agenda of doing the 2160p, which is native 4K, and that's very interesting to point out as well. Even without access to new GPU features of the Xbox One X hardware, while the 900p scaling doesn't quite show the same kind of cut and dry improvement, 2 out of the 3 basic ports get there or thereabouts. So they're basically talking about the different games, and I remember talking about this before because I've had this and we've talked about it, where they have title A through I, and they mention what genre the game is, the target, the engine, the API, and if they're shipped or in development. You can pretty much guess what some of these are, and by doing that you can kind of guess the benchmarks and things like that. So they're really kind of showing you how much overhead is left and things like that, but you have to keep in mind that even though this is basically proving that this thing is a 4K beast, not all developers are going to take advantage of that. Not all developers are going to make their game 4K. And if you look at some of these, you have to remember that this is from months ago. I believe these are from, I think, January, February of this year. So the full extra gig not available at that time, and the new XDKs obviously weren't available yet because they still aren't available yet. So you have to keep that in mind as well. It's a fascinating read, and it definitely helps you to understand a little bit more of what they're doing and the improvements over the base Xbox One in terms of benchmarks and things like that. So go check that out. Let me know what you guys think. Tune in tonight for Xbox Nation. it is a true 4K beast, folks. Whether developers use it for that, that's up to them, but this pretty much settles that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel tremendously. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.